What's up, guys? It's Matt Fart and Dino. He's gonna be sketching with me today. I thought today we could get into, since it's Halloween time. We're gonna make some jack-o'-lanterns, and I'll show you guys how to make jack-o'-lanterns. You guys can grab your sketchbook and follow along with us. All right? Oh, my wife actually put a cool little message for me. I guess she must have got my sketchbook and put, "You are amazing. Love, Maggie." That's so sweet. I didn't see that. That's pretty cool. She probably got my sketchbook one day I had it left around, and she wrote that in there, like towards the back of the sketchbook. Which, guys, it's pretty cool. I'm almost done with this sketchbook, which I'm really proud of. This sketchbook I have learned a lot with, and it's been really fun. But anyways, let's get to drawing some jack-o'-lanterns. I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna make it pretty big too. I'm gonna start off with a nice, almost like an oval shape. You see that? It's kind of light, so be mindful. I like to sketch lightly. And I'm gonna make it look a little offset too. I'm gonna kind of give it like a little bump here. And I'm gonna add another little bump towards the top. So it's almost like a bean shape if you think about it. You see that? Kind of wrap around here. This is gonna be the ground plane. So I know where the bottom is and where the fat of the pumpkin is gonna kind of reach around. And I'm gonna make mine look kind of silly. So I'm gonna have my eyes kind of come in this area here. So I'm gonna put that mask that I like to draw with here. And I'm gonna use an oval for the eyes. So I'm gonna kind of have the eyes like cross-eyed like this. So I'm gonna have one eye up here like that, see, one. And then the other one's gonna kind of slam into it. I'm sure you've seen a lot of cartoons with that kind of look. It's kind of like a silly, goofy look. I like drawing goofy things, so it's a kind of fun thing for me to draw. And I'm gonna darken on the insides a little bit too right here. So this space that I'm kind of creating here is where the nose is gonna be. So what shape is the nose of a jack-o'-lantern? And that's right, it's a triangle. So let's put a little triangle right here. So I'm gonna kind of create a little triangle. Well, it's a medium-sized triangle, so it's not that little. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of go over it a little bit, see, just for style. And I'm gonna push that up into this bridge up here, and it's gonna wrap around that eye right there. See? Same thing for this line. I'm gonna go up here, I'm gonna wrap it around that way and kind of stretch it out a little bit. So now, pumpkins usually don't have eyebrows, but for this case, we're gonna kind of give it like a little bit of meat here, just to kind of indicate like that's where the eye is gonna be. So now that we did that part, I want to make it look like it's cross-eyed, or like he's kind of making a silly face. So I'm gonna draw my, like, this is gonna be the pupils, or like where the eyeball would be, right here. One pushed in, and then one still pushed in, but it's gonna be more towards the bottom. So you see how it kind of gives it more of a little wonky, goofy look. And when I color that in, you won't see this line here because I'll make sure to like cover that. I'm gonna darken this line just a little bit and attach it to the bottom there. I'm gonna give him like a little bit of meat right here on the bottom of its eye, like a little extra skin there. Just gives it a little bit more dimension, makes it look a little goofy, like that. You see how I'm kind of bringing it in, and now that makes it look like there's more skin there. It's like the heaviness of the eyes of the character. So I'm gonna go back to the top, outside, and round that up to a little bit more. Bring that around. So now the mouth, since he's kind of doing a little cross-eyed, I think it'd be kind of cool to have like the tongue sticking out. So he's gonna be kind of like, almost like not smiling, but just making it's a goofy face, so remember that. And I'm gonna have the face kind of touching this up here, the cheek touching the little bit of meat on the eye. And I'm just gonna kind of give it like a nice little curve, almost like a little S curve or a shape. And then I'm gonna remember, teeth are gonna come in. And let's kind of close that. And it's gonna follow, the bottom is gonna follow that same shape, almost. So the only thing, I just don't round it off at the top, I just kind of keep it flat and round it here and bring it to the back. So I'm gonna have the tongue coming out from the edge over here. So usually the tongue is stuck, it's kind of from the back of your jaw, that's where it starts. But I'm gonna have this part kind of sticking out here and touch the floor almost like that and wrap around. So that shape is going to be like almost like a square if you think about, or a rectangle. See that? If I draw a little rectangle lightly, I have it there, and then I just split it down the middle and I round it off. And I'm gonna make like the tongue is touching the ground, so I'm gonna add a little bit of extra skin or of the muscle of the tongue touching it, and then just bring that back like that. See? I'm gonna add little teeth, more teeth here. And sometimes I like to overlap, so I'm gonna overlap them. Have this tooth here, and maybe another one right there. And you see how that's giving it more character already, right? So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna come around this way again, and round this off a little bit. So that stem, the stem of the pumpkin, I'm gonna start it from up here. Since it's kind of got a little curve here, I'm gonna use that for my sketch, and have the stem kind of fold to the front as well. So it's gonna go wrapping around, it's almost like a little S shape, and then stop right there at the front. And you can play around with that if you have ideas. This is where you can like play around with them and put it in there. So I'm just gonna put a few lines just to indicate that it's there, and maybe like a little leaf coming off the stem. Another one over here. See? And then now, if you look at pumpkins, they're not just perfectly round. I mean, pumpkin isn't just round. Like, it's not just a flat surface. It's got like ridges or bumps to it, right? So what I do to kind of help me remember that, where the stem is at, I create my first little bump, and I kind of have it curve up into that stem and then come down. But I don't go all the way down to connect it. We just remember, we want to lead the eyes. So I'm gonna go to the outside of that pumpkin, and then I'm gonna go on the inside right here. And you see how that kind of gives it some more flair, a little bit more flavor. It kind of makes it look like there's a little bit more going on to the pumpkin now, because we gave it a little bit more dimension. I can add another one back there. You see that? So it's like the little ridges on the pumpkin. So I'm gonna go and kind of go down into that shape. And I'm gonna remember it's coming from the bottom. So I'm gonna wrap that up. And notice I'm not connecting it straight into that one. I'm overlapping my lines. So that one there's a little shape here, so I'm indicating that it's going around it too. So now I'm gonna use that line and curve it up. And you see how it that really gives it dimension. You can add a little shadow if you need to by just adding some sketching. Sometimes I like to like wave the lines in like that a little bit. I'm gonna use this line and kind of indicate there's another shape down here. Another one right here. You see? And it really starts coming together when you start overlapping your shapes. And then don't forget those little warts and bumps and stuff like that. This is what helps you get your more character into your character. So I'm gonna start adding little bumps here and there. Some of them I like to like lead the eye and kind of create a little bump there. Just have fun with it. It doesn't have to be perfect, remember. Start refining things. I'm gonna go back to the nose. Sometimes I like to leave a little, like almost like the little piece that connects your nostrils, like right here in the middle. I like to leave that in there. And play around with those shapes. I kind of add little edges here. Make it pop a little bit more. The tongue. Outline the mouth a little bit more. Now we'll add watercolor as soon as we're done with this, okay? And this is how you can start making little characters. Yeah, so this kind of is a cool way to come up with characters. So here now I can add like my ground plane. And I can add some more details to here. Maybe this is like a little vine that's starting, a new vine. And maybe we could give it a friend. Should I give it a friend? Maybe I should. I could make this one kind of like a grumpy, mean looking one or something. This was from earlier. I was messing around with some ideas and just kind of coming up with simple things just to kind of keep myself busy when I was waiting for a doctor's appointment. So let's make this one a little bit more. Maybe he could be like the grumpy friend. So since he's grumpy, I'm gonna give him a sad face. His eyes are gonna be about here. And his stump is going to be a little bit more wider because he's a little bit more stubborn. So it's going to be a little bit wider. We're going to have it come there and then kind of come this way. You see that? How I'm playing with the shape. So I started off with like a square. And then I remember where that stem is at. That's where I kind of create my first little bump or lump. Kind of go from there. So back to the mouth. I'm going to start. Usually when you frown, your muscles kind of push down like your cheeks and stuff. So I'm going to use that as my starting point. And then I'm gonna create like little teeth. Maybe one can kind of come from the bottom. That'd be kind of cool. Like that. And then a nose. So a triangle for the nose. So I'm gonna make it a smaller, wider nose. I'm gonna give it a bridge. And I'm gonna make this one look like he's angry actually, since he's grumpy. Since this is like where your eyebrows would be, but when you're angry, your eyebrows kind of shift downwards, right? You see that? Like that. And I'm gonna have this one almost in the same angle, but I'm gonna have them a little bit offset. You don't, sometimes when you're drawing, you don't want it to be too parallel or too symmetrical because it just makes it flat. So just offset it just a little bit, and that works. It gives it a little bit more character and more fun. So I'm gonna kind of create the little, almost like the triangle piece inside. You see, it's already there if you look at it. And then I'm gonna add the little squares so it looks like that's the eye. And you see that? And this kind of gives it already a look of an angry or upset jack-o'-lantern. And I'm putting it behind him, so he's kind of sitting there in the back. Some extras. This is just a little fun one we can add. Alright, so now I'm gonna get the watercolors and I'm gonna add some color to it, okay? So same thing, I'm just gonna get a little bit of orange. Coloring that in. And then again, remember, it's just to kind of give it some pop in my sketchbook. I don't use it to like say it's a masterpiece or like, you know, the final rendition of it. It's just to give myself some ideas to play around and have fun with it. A long time ago, I used to get caught up in like trying to make everything perfect, and it's never gonna be perfect. You just gotta, what makes it perfect is just playing around with the shapes. Having that variety is what makes it perfect. Yeah, so just kind of, I do a light wash. I went a little heavy on this second one, but I just moved the colors around like that, see? And that's the tone. I forgot that's the tone. That's okay because I'm gonna make it purple or like green, so if anything I can actually make it off. Since it's watercolor, it's a little bit more forgiving. And you can leave some spots like for highlights open if you want to. Just try to remember like where the shadows would be or where you want them to fall. Usually, like, let's say the light is coming from over here, so highlights would be towards the edge. So I'm not gonna worry about that too much this time. I'm just gonna color it in just to do a quick tutorial. And then like one day we can, like, as I do more videos, I can do more finished renders. We can worry about like lighting, talk about how I see it and how it works for me, and how I see other artists use their lighting sources. That's something I'm still practicing on, so you know, I want to get more confident and better with that before I even like try to teach anybody or talk about it. So let's put some dark shades here. actually almost done with our timing. Keep it under a certain amount of time. So this is the cool part. I love doing this part here, kind of just like playing around with the watercolors. It's easy, it's fast, and you can give yourself like some ideas on like what colors you want to use later on if you want to do full renders and whatnot. Let's do this. There. So I'm not really thinking too much about it. I'm not thinking about making it perfect. I'm just trying to fill up the sketch. Let's do some purples for the tongue. Oof, that did not come out purple because I didn't clean off my brush. Make sure you clean off your brushes because I didn't. I'm trying to rush through it. It'll come out the right way too. Let's try green. Yeah, that's better. I was hoping for a brighter green, but since I made the color muddy, this will work. This will be good enough. I'll just muddy this up and color the stem in. Alright, and then some yellow for eyes. And your nose and the inside of the mouth. Same thing for this guy. And I forgot some of the teeth right here on the bottom. Alright, now let's get some green for this stem. And then I can add like a little bit of a background. I might use purple since they complement each other. It'll look nice with a little bit of purple, just really light purple for the background. You see that? So just a light purple in the background to kind of help it pop off the page a little bit more. So yeah, these are the shapes that we use, guys. This is our jack-o'-lantern. And I'll ask is you guys like, share, and subscribe. And I'll definitely keep doing more things like this. I'll start getting more intricate and having more fun with the sketches and building up more things for us to do. All right, peace.